Now, if I may, I seldom read from the Republican plank, but today I will. This is part of the manifesto that Republicans believe in. This is words that they've thought about, voted on. They've looked at every one of these words and they said, yes, that's who we are. We believe this. Congress shall immediately pass universal legislation providing a timely and orderly mechanism requiring the federal government to convey federally controlled public lands to the states. There it is. The Republican Party and the Republicans who are running for office, including all 5 of them that are running for statewide offices, including the fellow who's apparently from New Jersey, now running for governor in Montana, they believe that federal land ought to be transferred to the state. Now this is important because the state of Montana already has about 6% of the land, right? And it's interesting, and I'm going to get in the weeds a little bit, this is important. It's interesting to note that this land is managed by the land board, the 5 statewide elected officers, and they're to manage that land, and the money that they get from it is used for K-12 education. Pretty straightforward. And that land was acquired by the state of Montana as part of the Enabling Act. In 1889, when we became a state, the federal government said, now you're a state, and 2 sections out of every township will be used to help pay for K-12 education. Well, a lot of the western states who also had that in their Enabling Act, they ran out of money at some point, and they started selling the land. And so many of them don't even have that land left, because instead of running a fiscal shop like Governor Bullock has with surpluses and not raising people's taxes, they ran out of money because they listened to a bunch of their pals and they sold the land that was the legacy of becoming a state. Here's what's interesting. The Republican Party now says that the state of Montana ought to acquire more land, but there wouldn't be any of these rules that we have on this land that doesn't allow us to sell it. This 6% of the land that the state of Montana currently owns, it would violate state law if we sold it, and that's why we still have it. This is a 2-step process that they're proposing. Number 1, the federal government passes it to the state. Number 2, we sell it to our friends that come from New Jersey and California and New York and Texas. That's the plan. Well, that's not our plan. Is that your plan? No.